Welcome to another video, Walk on the Wild Side, and I am here in Blackpool. I'm actually in the Bispham part of town at the moment. Just behind me we've got Moor Park Health and Leisure Centre. They've got a swimming pool there, and that road over there, which goes down that way over there, is called Bristol Avenue, and that's where they used to make TVR sports cars. They used to make them down there, yeah. A very, very famous car manufacturer, sports car manufacturer, based right here started in Blackpool. I've never done a video about TVR. 4.5 years I've been doing this channel for, and I might have mentioned it a couple of times. In fact, I was supposed to be doing a video with someone, having a walk round with someone, and they'd be showing me all the places where all the places of interest. Like TVR sports cars actually started in South Shore on Beverley Grove, not too far away from the Blackpool Pleasure Beach. That's where the guy who founded it started, about 1945, just after the war, yeah. A guy called Trevor Wilkinson, and the name TVR is taken from his Christian name, Trevor, TVR. So it was started way back in the mid-40s, and then it went through a couple of other owners, and eventually, sadly, it was around about 2000, maybe 2004, a Russian millionaire bought the brand and intended to keep building the cars here. And for the next couple of years, he played around a bit, and eventually nothing happened with it. The factory closed down here around about 2006, I think. 250 people lost their jobs, and well, we thought that was the end of TVR, but was it? So I'm just here outside the empowerment base, yeah? Do you want to get empowered? Well, I'll tell you what, the TVRs were pretty powerful. I'm no expert on TVR cars, but my goodness, they were very, very powerful cars. I'll tell you what I can with my limited knowledge. As we head towards Bristol Avenue, just down there, we're going to take a look at the site of where the old factory was. And they're knocking down a load of buildings around there at the moment, all the buildings that sort of surrounded the old TVR factory. So we'll get a chance to look at those before they disappear. But yeah, TVR cars, they were really, really powerful sports cars, lightweight. They used modified, as far as I know, they used modified Austin Rover engines. They might have used other brands' engines as well. What they did was they'd take an Austin Rover engine, like a 3.5 litre, that they'd stick in an SD1 or something like that, and they'd tune it up and they'd get loads and loads of power out of it. And there'd be none of this fancy anti-slip, anti-wheel spin, none of that. All the raw power was going to the rear wheel. I think you needed to have specialist driving lessons if you wanted to buy a TVR, because can you imagine all that raw power going to the rear wheels? There you are, Bristol Avenue. Yeah, so like I said, I'm going to tell you what I can with my limited knowledge. This is just going to be a quick look around the site, and I'll try and tell you what I know. So they started mid-40s, Beverley Grove, and eventually they got so big, and they were selling them around the world. Massive, this leisure centre, isn't it? Look at that there. We are kind of looking into the sun a bit. It's been raining this morning. Yeah. Welcome to Moor Park Health and Leisure Centre. So we'll carry on down here, and eventually we will get to where the old TVR factory was. We've got to walk through this bit of a council estate here. Yeah, so eventually, I don't know when they bought the factory up here, but and I'm not that familiar with this part of town as well, so I never really took a whole lot of notice of it because I never really came up here. But I do come up here quite a lot now because I go to the tip. We've got the tip up here, the Bispham tip, the household waste tip, and I've been up here quite a few times, and to be honest, I don't think that I ever really took any notice of the original factory. But I have noticed all the other buildings, because the buildings that were next to the factory all had like garages in, car garages, and quite a few of the car garages would do work on TVRs because they were right next to where the original factory was. So we'll get a little look at those, because they are actually pulling them down. Yeah, they're pulling them down in stages, so I thought I'd better get up here and do a video about it before they all disappear. Okay, so that's looking down Bristol Avenue from where I've just come from. I've now got up to this junction here with Ashfield Road. Now this road goes all the way around the Bispham campus of the Blackpool and Fylde College, and if you continue this way, this will take you to the site of where the original TVR factory was. Down that way, we'll go there in a minute. But I just want to quickly show you these buildings here. These are the buildings I'm talking about that they're knocking down. And some of these had garages in, that were specialising in TVR. I'll tell you what we'll do. There's a noisy motorbike comes up behind us. Let's just have a little look down here, because got a bit of a dead end road here. Oh, that's noisy, isn't it? Back Collins Avenue, we've got a substation there. Got a bit of a park here. It is quite green round here, Yeah, we've got quite a bit of parkland round here. I thought I'd have a bit of a nosy. So there's a bit of a park there. We've got a bit of a yard here. So they're getting rid of all this now, and I think they're building retail units or something. So I don't know whether this was part of the TVR site or whether it was separate. I don't know. But as you can see, look at this here. Look, they definitely did work on some of the TVRs in these. But look at that, they're stripping them all down now. Yeah. I'll tell you what, that motorbike before was about as loud as a TVR. Those cars were so loud, and they still do like rallies. They come round Blackpool and they go up and down the promenade and they make a right racket, yeah, TVR. So like I said, I'm no expert on TVR, and I was planning to do a video, it's a couple of years ago now, planning to do a video with one of the members of the owners club, and he was going to take us round where they started, Beverly Grove, and then we were going to come up here and have a look at the site, but it never came to anything, so I'm just doing this off my own back at the moment. But I could do a video in future, maybe doing that, we'll see. So my limited knowledge of TVR, like I say, but my favourite car was the Cerbera, because we used to drive that on what's that great game? Gran Turismo. Yeah, Gran Turismo. Used to drive TVR cars on Gran Turismo, and I used to like driving the Cerbera around. Yeah, so that was my favourite car. But yeah, it goes back to 1946. Trevor Wilkinson, and then chap called Martin Lilly took it over, and then a guy called Peter Wheeler took it over. Now the site is actually owned by the Wheeler Trust, so the site of the TVR factory is owned by the Wheeler Trust, and they're building all these new units now. I'm not sure whether they're retail or what, but we'll go and have a look anyway. We'll go and see what it's like. It's all brand new now. It's all been transformed. It probably all needed knocking down anyway, because it was all probably falling to bits, And then of course in 2004 it was sold to this Russian guy who had all these high hopes of keeping the brand in Blackpool. They tried to move it to Squires Gate. It went on for ages, but eventually nothing happened. And then in 2013, I didn't know this until I looked it up, but apparently the brand was brought back to the UK by a consortium. Yeah, I'll put a link in the description if you're interested. So the brand is back here, and they were supposed to be bringing out a new car. Was it the Griffith? An electric car, yeah. Yeah, the electric. Oh, I don't know, what do you think of electric? Is it going to work for TVR? Electric, can that work? I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? Anyway, enough of this waffle. Let's go and take a look at where they used to make them. Tell you what, it's all right round here. Some nice green spaces. So we'll head back towards Bristol Avenue, up this bit of a path here, and we'll get a look at what it's like today. the site of the TVR factory. Yeah, so all this is coming down. It's all coming down. Because I went to the tip the other day and I've noticed these buildings and I thought, oh my God, they're going to knock all those buildings down. And I thought I wanted to get these before they knock them down. So I'll just stand across the road. I want to show you something. If I stand on this corner over here, I'm going to show you a picture from Google Maps of what this looked like a few years ago. So there's a garage there, MJT Body Repairs. They actually used to repair TVRs in there as well. All separate garages these. We've got another one there, Lawfield and Abbott. Vehicle restoration. I actually used to go in one of these units. It was owned by a guy that did garden machinery, Jay Salisbury. He had a unit in here, so I used to go there quite often. It was one of these, I don't know which one, but as you can see they're actually knocking it down, and as we get further down you'll see they're putting up these new builds. It's called the Wheeler Hub. Lawfield Engineering, TVR specialist, look at that there. I told you, didn't I? And it says there, well, it's got a sign of what they're building. This is the entrance to the tip here, look. Council tax paying residents only. Bispham tip there. Yeah, so there you go. If you need to get any rubbish, get rid of any rubbish, just go in there. But yeah, look at this. They're knocking down all this building here. Look at that. I think I can see I don't know, is that a heater or a pump or something in there? So this was like a neighbouring building to the TVR factory. And if I walk down a bit further, we've got this. It's just a new retail, sorry, not retail, but like an industrial estate. It does look quite fancy. It's nice and clean, and I think the original factories and all that sort of thing were probably falling to bits. So this is what it is, the Wheeler Hub, named after the guy that owned TVR at one time. And owned the site. He owned the site. And this is what's here now. And you see these buildings here? This is where the factory actually was, I believe. Let me know if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. But I think that this section here where they've got these units here is where the TVR factory actually was. It was right here. And I know one of those garages has actually moved into a unit down there. So one of those garages I was talking about back there has actually moved into a new unit down there. So yeah, it's all new now, look at this. It's quite fancy, doesn't it? We've got a vet there. Lasercraft Precision Laser Solutions. PC Decor. Well, I'll tell you what, there's quite a few businesses moving into them. But yeah, this was where the TVR factory was, right here. I'm going to show you a picture of Google Maps. Just at the other end, we've got an electricity substation up here. I'll show you a picture from Google Maps, and you can see they knocked it down in 2016. Yeah. I don't know what I was doing at the time, but I was filming a demolition. I was filming the demolition of the Leighton Flats, but I never got myself up here to do anything about this. It's probably because I wasn't really very familiar with up here, you know, and it just never bothered me at the time, you know. I wasn't really that bothered to film it. But yeah, it was 2016 when they got rid of the TVR factory, and this is exactly where it stood. I can actually feel the hum coming from that electric substation in there. But I'll just show you another view now. So we're looking from this side now. The sun is really blinding. I'm filming this at around about 9:30 in the morning, so the sun is quite low, but there you go. That's where the TVR factory was, right there, and now it's this fancy new industrial estate. There you go. So I'm now just walking past where the TVR factory was, and the front door was somewhere around here, and it had TVR on the door. You can see it on the Google Maps. Google Maps is really good when you go back in time. It's amazing what you can see. You can go back to about 2008, 2009. Depends where you are really, but yeah, it's really, really good for that. But anyway, that's my video on TVR. A little bit limited in knowledge, I know, but I finally got round to doing a video about it, and as you can see, this is what's there now. It's quite fancy actually. They are really nice looking units actually, yeah, it is really, really good. Like I say, the old factory must have been falling to bits, but they've made a pretty good job of it, and it's still in the name of one of the owners, Peter Wheeler. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there now. I'll put some information in the description if you want to find out a little bit more. But that's it for this video. If you like the video, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and tick the bell for notifications of new videos, and I'll see you again on the next one.